Yo, what up? It's L.DreRe. I'm not even going to have intros. We're going to react to the new announcement for the Roland Sp-404 Mk2. So let's see what this is all about. It's all the rage right now. A bunch of people got it for free. But let's just see what it does. Let's see what it's about.
I'm Peter from Roland, and this is the Sp-404 Mk2.
Ooh, that looks cute.
The Sp-404 Mk2 is...
Right away, that display is looking nice. This one is kind of just like a watch. The display on this one reminds me of like some kind of watch or something. So that looks great.
Compact, creative sampler and effector that's a staple in lo-fi and other styles of hip-hop and electronic music. During the development of the Mark II, we listened closely to the SP community about how we can make it better, but we were also careful to maintain the essence of what people loved about the SP.
Oh, that's fire.
In this overview, we're going to talk about what's new with the hardware, updates to the sampling and effects workflow, and options for customizing your SP. Let's get started. Let's take a look at what's new with the hardware on the Sp-404 Mark II. Probably the most obvious is the OLED screen. You can use it for waveform editing, you can use it to smoothly navigate through the different modes, and you can even customize it with personal startup screens and screensavers. There are also 17 velocity-sensitive RGB pads, which you can customize. On the back, you can see that...
That's dope. It's velocity sensitive. These aren't. You just click them and they click on however loud the sample is. That's pretty hard.
We have a 1/4 inch input and output. We also have 1/8 inch MIDI, both MIDI in and MIDI out. Lastly, we have a USB-C port, which is useful for external power, streaming audio from mobile devices or your PC or Mac. And
that's the best part. USB-C, you just plug it right in. Because first thing I didn't like when I got this one is like, I don't know if you guys can tell, there's this huge cord with a big power bank. I can't show you on the screen, but that has to be plugged in for it to be working. It has a battery compartment, so if you want to use like batteries, but it's AA batteries. I haven't even opened this. How many batteries are in it? So you have to have 6 AA batteries to run it, which is kind of cool though. But yeah, that's way better. That makes me way happier.
Connecting to the Sp-404 app. On the front panel, we have 1/4 inch and 1/8 inch headphone jacks. We have a 1/4 inch input for microphone or guitar, and that'll feed a dedicated input effect with things like guitar amp simulators or vocal effects. Inside the Sp-404 Mark II, there's 16 gigabytes of internal storage for really fast startup times, internal project switching, and importing and exporting samples. There's also 32 voices of polyphony, so you can really stack pads on top of each other with no risk of cutting samples in and out. The Sp-404 Mark II comes preloaded with 9 banks of high-quality sample content made for the modern SP user, and it can run on batteries, so you can take this thing basically anywhere. The Sp-404 Mark II has an updated sampling workflow. We've added things like real-time chop, audio.
That's cool, but the MPC Live 2 is still goated for having built-in battery and speakers built in. But I mean, this is way smaller, so I would definitely prefer to take this around portability-wise. But yeah, I mean, it's fine. You just you just use headphones, I guess, whatever. Plug a little Bluetooth speaker into it. It's not a big deal.
Chop, sample envelopes, pitch shifting, all sorts of different types of enhancements to make the sampling process really fast and really creative. So let's take this sample here. Say I want to chop that. I could just go to the chop mode here and start the process.
Oh, you can see it on there. That's fire.
And at any time, I can preview those and even zoom in, maybe make a small tweak. And if I'm happy with that, I could assign it to a pad.
Yo, I'm glad they got rid of, right here where it says resonator, on here it's voice trans. On this one, it says voice trans right here, and it's buns. I would never use it. It's such a weird effect. Like, I don't see why it has its own dedicated button. There's so many cooler effects over here that could have used a dedicated button. So I'm glad they took that out, because every SP-404 has that little voice trans thing, which is like, for what? You know what I'm saying?
And there it is in my bank. And if I want to assign some kind of envelope or a way to shape the volume, that's a really easy process where I just press the sample that I want to change. I can go into the envelope screen. You can see the diagram of what the envelope is doing. So if I raise the attack, I can get a kind of almost sidechain type of sound with these.
HGC says, hot take, this and the MPC is arguably a better duo than the push Ableton. Bro, the push is a completely different thing. It only works with Ableton, you know what I'm saying? What are you talking about? You can't even plug this in. What are you talking about, bro?
And in context, it'll sound like this.
Okay.
We've also made updates to the resampling workflow and added something called skip back sampling. They technically do the same things, but they approach it a little bit differently. So let's take this pattern that I have right here. If I want to resample that as audio, I can do that now just by hitting the resample button. It'll ask me for a location to record this, and then press the pattern that I want to resample as audio. And it's going to play through that.
Hard.
And I can stop it basically at any time. And there's my sample right there. Skip back sampling, on the other hand, is like always having a tape recorder in the background. That pattern that I just resampled, let's put a really aggressive effect on it, like the new cassette simulator.
Hype train incoming, let's go.
Fire!
Nice, I like that. I love how it shows up on there. This screen is fire. I like that a lot.
That has just been recorded. If I just hit the mark button, it'll go into the skip back mode, and I can preview up to 25 seconds in the past that can then be exported to a pad.
Oh, what?
There that is. Put it on pad 8. So now I have my original resampled pattern, and I have that affected pattern.
But why would you do that, though?
One of the key things that people love most about the SP are the effects. On the Mark II, we have classic effects like the 303.
Bro, the background music in this, bro, whoever they got producing these beats for this little video, fire.
404 compressor, amongst other things, but brand new things like the cassette simulator, resonator, a bunch of other cool stuff to play with. So let's check it out. So I can start using the effect controls in the same exact position that the 404 and 303 were. I still have a top 5 effect selection that has mostly classic effects like the DJ effects looper. Things like isolator, delay, filter drive are basically unchanged, but there's a new one called resonator, which is really good for kind of getting melodic textures out of percussion or non-melodic textures. So this is...
Yo, I'm glad they got rid of, right here where it says resonator, on here it's voice trans. I don't understand that effect at all.
303 vinyl sim. .404 vinyl sim. New cassette sim.
Bro, let me just say, I love how the effects are showing on the screen, because with this one, obviously all the effects are here. So you just kind of have to figure it out. Like 1, 2, obviously is from 1 to 12. So there's 24 effects on here. So you have to press MFX and then you have to select one of these. And then if you want to get to the other ones, you press MFX, and I think you have to I think you hold shift or you hold another button in order to get, and then you have to do math.
Later. And if I look at the top, I see a lot more creative and brand new effects that are really great for resampling and coming up with really interesting types of samples. Like, I really like Downer personally.
Ooh. Ooh, I like that. That's fire.
And there's a bunch of things to play with. There's 37 total effects that we'll have at launch, and all of them are really inspiring. Also, what's new with the Sp-404 Mk2?
You hear what he said. He said at launch. So maybe they're going to just continuously, now since it's like USB-C and it's kind of in the future now, maybe they can just update it now. They can just update it with more effects and stuff. Because, I mean, that's what they do with the OP1. Every now and then they, like, just update it. They do a software update. Same thing with the MPC Live 2. They update it and add new plugins and everything. So maybe they'll be doing that on this. That's pretty fire. Oh, you know what? That's probably exactly it. That's probably why they didn't write the effects here. Hold on. They probably didn't write the effects here because they can just update it and change it as they would like to. So that's pretty fire.
Are bus effects. Bus effects is a system that's inspired by analog and digital mixing consoles that lets you establish different effects on different buses. You can then route your pads to whatever effects that you want. I've got this example here that uses this routing system. If I go to the effects page, I can see that.
Woo! That's when shit starts to get very complicated for your boy. Like, that's fire though. You can have multiple effects, but you know, if you're not a hardware person, it's starting to get more and more complex.
One will go into bus 2, and then there's 2 additional buses after that for mastering style effects or effects that you just want over the entire mix all the time. I can easily change the routing just by hitting the value knob to get more of a parallel type of situation happening. For this example, I'll leave it as serial. So I'll go to this pattern here, play it. Everything's going into bus 1. Say I want to route stuff into bus 2. I'll just select bus 2, hold remain, and start to select the different types of pads that I want to route to that bus specifically. So I could see that there's 2 different colors, and that's a really good intro to show what's on bus 1 and what's on bus 2.
Man, I'm going to have to study this, bro. If I really want to use this, I'm going to need, man, it's a lot.
And let's do something really strong on bus 1 now, like the downer effect I think is really obvious. So I'll turn that on. So notice how all of the melodic stuff and the top end percussion are now pitched down going through the downer effect, but the main body of the percussion are completely dry.
Oh, that's fire.
That means I can go to bus 2 and add an additional effect on top of that, like the DJ effects looper.
I mean, that is fire.
Go back to bus 1. I could just disable this effect. And now we're back to normal. The Sp-404 Mk2 has an upgraded pattern sequencer. So you can do things like assign different tempos per bank or assign a tempo that's global to the project. Let's take a listen to a pattern that's assigned to one bank, and then I'll change it to another bank and you'll hear the tempo change.
Yo, who made
Another
these
upgrade we've
beats?
made is adjustable input quantize, swing, different types of record input options, and that's really easy to see. If I play a pattern, I can hit the record button at any time, and it's going to drop me into the recording process as soon as it leaves.
I'm not gonna lie, guys. I'm loving this. Lots of cool things are happening, but I feel like a little kid. Like, a lot of this shit looks so complicated. What's good, my G? Yeah, no, I'm definitely gonna cop, but I'm trying to see if I can get one for free first. But, we'll see.
Back around. If I hit the record setting, I can see what my quantize is set to. I can see the BPM. All of it is real time, so we still kind of have that very quick and fluid type of recording process with the SP, but it adds a little bit more control over your timing so that you can get a really good rhythm that doesn't sound like it's hard quantized or robotic. A new convenience feature is the pattern editor. So if I go to the pattern select and then select a pattern that I want to edit, I can hit pattern edit and I can see how long it is. I can adjust the length of it. I can adjust where it starts in the pattern and do things like, let's say, crop the first measure. And now when I play the pattern,
okay,
it'll play only one measure's worth of music. People have been performing with SPs for years in many different ways.
Yes.
DJ mode effectively turns your Mark II into a 2-channel DJ mixer.
Now this is what I'm here for. This is what I'm here for. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, it looks really cool to make beats on. It looks cool to make beats on for sure. But what I'm mostly interested in is just, you know, I guess I can actually pretend with this. You know what I'm saying? Just live effects, having fun, maybe doing some live streams where, like, imagine I did a live stream where I'm just playing my beats. And you guys can just chill, talk in the chat, do your homework, study, whatever you want. And I'm just like going in with the Sp-404, just playing beats. So that's the plan. Let's see what this is about.
You can load up 2 individual tracks on 2 different decks and synchronize them. I'll go into DJ mode, and already I could see that the screen graphic has changed to mimic 2 different decks. The pad color configuration has changed to mimic what the functions are on each pad. So I could see that there's deck 1 is here and deck 2 is here. I can do things like change the BPM using the pads on the different decks, or kind of bend it temporarily like I'm adjusting a vinyl.
Immediately overwhelmed. All right.
And I already have 2 songs loaded on here. So if I play this first one,
okay,
I can use the control knobs to behave just like faders on a DJ mixer. And I could do things like temporarily increase the tempo if I was trying to sync it, or temporarily slow it down. On deck 2, I have the ability to cue it in the headphones as well before bringing up the faders to make sure that they're in sync. So for now, I'll play the song that's on the second deck and then turn on sync. I can bring it up.
Okay.
And it's a really handy tool for blending 2 songs together. The SP scene has always been one about customization. The faceplate has 4 screws that make it easily removable.
I was excited about this. Let's see, cause, hold on, let's just watch it. Let's watch it.
You can download the template online. That'll help you customize your own graphics for it as well. There's also easily removable knobs and user customizable startup and screensaver images. The RGB pads can be user customized as well to reflect your own favorite colors.
That's fire. That is fire.
If you are looking for a creative way to perform and
Yo, that's fire, because if you could just get the faceplate, I don't like how I was looking in to how you do that. And you know, they just give you just like stickers, you know what I'm saying? I don't like stickers. I don't want to put a skin on it, but if you could just remove the faceplate, which, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't even know if that was already a thing. So Sp-404 community, don't come at me. But to just switch the faceplate whenever you want, that's fire. And yeah, like Tito G said, screensavers, you can make custom little digital tings. Come on, bro, that's fire.
using samples and effects, the Sp-404 Mark II is just the thing. Head over to Roland.com to find out more.
Yo, whoever made those beats, whoever made the beats for this, they're cracked. All those beats were fire. All those beats were fire. Wow. I mean, I'm down, guys. I'm down. I'm definitely gonna get it one way or another. I just like buying shit, bro. I just like buying stuff. So this looks like it's gonna be super cool, super fun. And yeah, I'm excited for it.